Good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
All right. Call to order, Finance Committee special meeting Thursday, November 2nd. 3. I'll take the roll. Ken Newman. Here. Kim Olson.
I'm here.
We have a quorum. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
Item 3, citizen comments. There are no citizens. On 4, discuss approved 2024 budget items. We went through most of these at the last meeting. John, I know since you were here, we were just, I wanted to talk a little bit about that open air parks thing.
Yep.
So do you feel like, oh yeah, come on up. I think everybody, some people did tell me that they appreciated, they could hear you guys at the last meeting, so.
Same chair again?
Yeah, it's fine.
They actually said they like seeing your face, right?
Yeah. So it was nice to hear and see from you guys and.
The voice and the face together?
Right, sure, yep. I think overall, we're probably, I don't know what your takes are. I'm on board with it, provided you think that we're gonna have enough projects, to make it worthwhile. So I guess I just wanted to ask you, like, what do you have?
We have projects, we have small project, big projects. The thing is, it just comes down to is the money thing. You know, is there money
Sure.
and there's no guarantees these grants, we're gonna get them either, you know, that's the thing. Never, in my time, we've never filled out for any grants or tried filing for any grants or filling out any paperwork for grants. There isn't, you know, guarantee that we're gonna get any, but this is the first step to being able to even fill them out.
Right. I mean, I think it's a good idea.
You know, the good
At
part
the very
is that we do this first one, have it done professionally, and then like the Horicon one, they actually did themselves now. They updated it themselves in 5 years, and then the city, okay, so once we get this initial one, because it's been so long since we've had it done, that say we decide not, that we don't have any money next year, the year after, in 4 years, 5 years, well, then we go through an update. We're not gonna have a lot of changes in the city. I think there's a lot from 2005 till now.
Sure.
But as far as in 4 or 5 years from now, if we have to update it ourselves, go through it, you know, submit it back to the council again, I think from this point forward, we'll have a running open space plan that, you know, so I guess, and I say that by doing this right now, doesn't mean that next year we have to jump into a $150,000 project right away, but at least it gives us some options to look into some of these projects.
The key here is that we need to be consistent within that 5-year period. And it is a wonderful idea that with what John's proposing, but we need to, I mean, I don't know if I'll be here next week, nonetheless, in 5 years, but on record, I want this to run consistently so that in 5 years, it doesn't get dumped off to the wayside.
Right.
Well, it's kind of front and center now, so I think that the people we have, we will. But like I said, my concern is that I know that there's, you know, a lot of asks from different departments to get people back up and going with equipment, buildings, all that stuff.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's more important right now than, you know, say some of these parks projects we need to do, you know, right at this moment to get caught up again. So, and that was my only concern was if we're gonna go through with this $25,000, but then not really have any money available because we're trying to get things caught up and equipment caught up and buildings caught up and stuff like that, that we're not gonna really have any extra money available for 3, 4, 5 years. Well, then maybe we should put it off for a year or 2 years. I'm not trying to do that or say it, but I'm just trying to throw it all on the table here.
So this, my take on that, is that even if we don't do anything in 3, 4, 5 years, if we already have this done.
Yeah.
We're ready.
Absolutely, we're ready anytime.
And I know you said that it was approximately $25,000.
Yeah, he told,
5 years down the road.
Yeah.
That's not gonna be 25 grand anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know that.
and he
So-
told me when I talked to the gentleman, he said 25 is the high end. He said it will be 100% guaranteed there. He thinks it'll be closer to 23. He said, but for budget wise, he said, because you guys haven't had one in so long, he said in time wise and hours and all that. But he said it was 23 to 25 is what he gave me as a number.
Sure.
I would
So
like to
I
add,
agree with you too, that we should make sure that this is maintained
Consistent.
then. So, you're on Parks, right?
I am,
So maybe this is something we can, you can address there, provided this goes through. Yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think that,
And one good thing going forward
that's a
too
small,
is
that's
if,
a small amount of money for an opportunity at grant funding.
yeah, and one good thing to have here too is if we do have this out there and also, almost like I know Ken talked about the, like say the bleachers or the grandstand at Fireman's Field, all of a sudden, I mean, it's in bad shape, it's in worse shape, and we need to move forward with it real quick. Well, now we can fill out for grants or something like that because we do have this where if we did and we have kind of an emergency project that we need to go forward with, well, now we can't even fill out for any grants or anything.
Right.
and on another avenue, I was thinking that we could reach out to the Historical Society. I did look it up. There are grants up in Ying for repairing, restoring those bleachers up at Fireman's Park.
Because they're historic.
And what John was saying before, the thing with grants, you never know if you're gonna get it or not.
Yeah. Or
You're
what
taking
percentage
a
you're gonna
chance.
I understand that, but if you don't even have an opportunity.
Right.
Yeah, first question that,
Right.
for Mike Kurtz, when he looked out, started getting us going with, first question on state or federal grants is, do you have a working open space parks plan set,
Right. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's enough for me.
We've been out of the game too for 18 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
We have.
yeah. I don't see it as a waste at all.
Okay.
I would also like to bring up that back then, the people who did this originally, did wonderful things. They came a long way. And then, of course, people get older, they go away. And, it got left at the wayside, and I do believe that this would be a great way to get us back on track again.
At least a starting point.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, we can talk about ways to achieve that.
Yeah.
At a later date.
And the thing is, if say this does get going, talking to the engineer, even if this gets going, it's gonna be most of next year to get this all done. They don't just come in one day, so it'll be coming, getting information, putting it together, and then having the final one, probably late next year first, before this project will be totally done. To get a brand new parks open space plan, like the one that Orkin has, which is, 35, 40 pages long.
So I know you both work full-time jobs, but did you get the opportunity to see what Oregon did recently?
And no, I didn't read through that.
All right.
I got it. I didn't.
Yeah, no, it's a
Yeah,
long,
I
it's
know
long.
you both work, and.
I just wanted you guys to see what a finished one was though.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's a positive thing. I think that, waiting and doing it later doesn't benefit us anyway, because it's gonna cost us more.
As
And
the-
even if we don't use it, we have the option available.
Mhm.
I know that grant funding is not a slam dunk all the time, but if you don't do anything, we don't even have an opportunity to,
And going forward from this point forward, like I said, I believe that we can, update it ourselves,
right.
in 5
So,
years, so.
yeah, I mean, I think, if we're doing this every 5 years on our own, it's
This is just
a
a
drop in the
first
bucket,
initiative,
really. Anyone else? On that?
Okay,
Okay, that's all I wanted to ask, thank you.
Yeah,
okay.
that's
Any
right.
other questions, anything else for the parks?
Nope.
We have beautiful parks.
I know, we really do, we really do over these parks, yep. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Okay, tag, we're already done with. Utilities.
One, is broken down by funds, 60 is water, 61 is sewer. That makes it make more sense.
Here's, the most current. Well, we have that.
Sorry. Want to
So-
answer questions off the bat, or
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know where to start.
I think we even just work this year.
Oh, that's fine.
So what I've got here, as of now, I've got water but not sewer.
So in the two categories, the Fund 60 is water, and the Fund 61,
There were two, we didn't get these, should have printed both of them. They were separate.
The one that I gave you, I wrote sewer on top of one of them and then water on top of the other one.
Here's sewer.
What's that?
I wrote on both of them, one says water on it and one says sewer on it.
I
Okay.
got my sewer there.
Sorry.
Sewer.
I'm missing something.
No, not a problem.
What do we got?
That's sewer.
Right, that's the same. Yeah, that's the same thing. Here. Here's- That's the same thing. Oh, here it is. Sorry, Tony,
Oh, no problem.
it's buried. There it is. It does look the same.
You said,
Yeah,
you said Courtney, 60's water and 61 is sewer.
yeah, 60 is water, 61 is sewer.
Thank you.
It should kind of look the same because each fund should have the exact same journal, and lines or whatever, so.
Yeah, they're mostly, I guess mostly similar.
It should be that way, yes.
So here's 160.
Yeah, just go with the
Are you,
the abbreviated, if you have any questions.
Alright.
The biggest thing is you saw when we first got together. and
Yeah.
We stopped the meeting, then we came back and got some really good work done. Our last meeting, because
Okay.
the big hangup was office supplies. We didn't know what the heck was there.
Yeah, just
Everything
a
was-
supply.
Everything was lumped in there.
Yep.
So obviously you wanna go, hey, what, and you pointed it out when John was going over. his
Yeah,
budget.
it's just a grouping.
And you're like, here's the wood, and here's this, and.
Yeah.
So what, just with the office supplies, it was, for the water, it's 47,000, for the sewer, it's 818,000,
Yeah,
and then the total's 165, so I just probably wanted to go over a little bit of explanation, right, Joe, or,
Sure.
you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's another question.
yeah, very small portion of that is actually office supply. We don't try to spend too much of anything. We
Right.
get printers and things to make them work.
not good.
You bang on-
We
you bang on copies.
run pretty lean in that department. Usually things are Amazon purchases. But that's gonna be pump supply, big dollar items, well house supply, actuators, valves, things like that, they're not cheap purchases. And, we have, well, pretty much everything's aged out to the point where we're doing the reactive maintenance that we don't wanna do, so. Those costs, I guess we never know. We have a little more security when things are newer and shinier and, we know how they were maintained too, but we don't have that right now. So, same with like our main brakes and service brakes categories and things like that. United States, I think as a whole, has a D+ rating in infrastructure. It's really ugly. We're doing everything we can to get this back in place with what we have, but that's where we're at, so.
On the whole, are we moving towards positive right now?
Yeah, we actually did, we did a really significant amount of sewer lining, which is, so part of that, I know years ago, I didn't work here yet, there was a struggle, I think on German Street, a lot of it, with the I&I, the inflow and infiltration, which is expensive to treat clear water. So we want to button that up, seal everything up. Sewer lining is a nearly bulletproof process that we do in the sewers. It's not just the personal home laterals, it's not just the mains, we need a little combination of both to make it effective. And we've done, I want to say somewhere near 4,000 feet of sewer lining in the last 3 years. I started in 2020, so that's the knowledge that I have, but that's what we've done in the last couple of years, button things up with, manhole covers that have no pig holes, no water can run in them. Replacing seals is a pretty cheap option that we can do, but every effort you make is a drop in the bucket. It's not really a measurable effort. So we're trying a little by little, but progress on other things is a little more measurable. I&I is a hard one because you can't gauge by rain flow and total and how much you used at your sink and, you know, if you took a 20-minute shower, it's nearly impossible to tell, but, visible things like the new well house on Kikasky Street was a big impact. We're coming in at really good timing on these projects because generally the funding for those in principal forgiveness, essentially a grant, so it is a grant, is 500,000 as a cap. This year and next year guaranteed too, the cap is $1.5 million. So we're coming in at absolutely perfect timing to get the biggest amount of grant money humanly possible. And we did get that we got $1 million on well number 3.
We appreciate that too.
Well, it was coated in lead too, so I can't,
Yeah.
with lead services, while I have an iron coated lead.
Yeah.
Lead tank in there, so.
But a lot of work by you. There's a lot of work by you, done by, writing stuff.
Yeah, I did do the lead grant for the public services, so.
Yeah, I even called her, can you give me some leads on how to write grants? I was so impressed. Then other things happened. Thank you for it, Andrew. I really appreciate that.
No problem.
So some of the couple of questions I guess I have is, are you guys hiring more staff? Because some of the numbers, like the wage numbers are up quite a bit.
So are you looking at the full breakdown?
Right.
Um,
I see that some are going down as well. So
Okay,
I don't know if
and-
it's
and
just being
that's right.
reallocated
So-
or,
Each of those categories, that's kind of like predicting when a water main break happens. Each of those categories is based on the actual job that they're doing at that time. So if it's an emergency, you know, on a sewer main, that's what their wages are allocated to. If it's something, you know, it depends what happens in a course
right.
of a day. So some are down, we base them on a 6-month projection of what they did last year. And I know we're not gonna have the same year as last year, but there's not a very good way to tell what's gonna happen.
Right, no, that's fine.
Yeah, so
I
some
see
go up
that
and
some
some
went
go
down
down.
on here
Yep.
too, so I was just curious.
Yep.
I noticed what was,
Yeah, and our overtime, so for years, we've had one water operator, which is kind of insane to me to have one person in charge of the entire water system on 365, 24/7. So we took on a second water operator a couple years ago. So our overtime categories have significantly decreased since that happened too. So not one person with all the overtime.
Can you explain to us and the public, we are airing this, right? What is the cable income about can you explain what that's about?
What was it?
The cable income,
that's on the second, the budget summary.
this one, Courtney.
It's a blank category on ours. There's not a number in
Yeah,
there.
there's nothing in there, there's sewer income on it.
Yeah, so I think that's a carryover from a template.
Yeah, it shows, Fund 61, a carryover of $23,659.
That's sewer.
It's
income,
one,
though.
it's
That's
one
not-
above on the
that's not-
sewer income.
That's not cable, that's under sewer. You gotta get put a
Paper
paper
under
across
it,
there
yeah.
so you can see
Yeah,
what-
I'm missing my thing, I couldn't find it, sorry. All right, never mind, it is the wrong line. So that would be sewer income. Sorry about that. Okay, then my next question is, what is the professional services for?
That can range from anything from, mechanical repair, SCADA, lawyer. So is that in the lump sum category there too on the
Okay,
combined? So professional services is all of those things, anybody who repairs anything, HVAC, pumps, generators.
okay, then my next question is, marketing and advertising at 1,500. What is that for?
It's in Fund 60.
So it looks like it's a carryover from Fund 60. And, but what I need to know, what is that for? Even though it is carried over, what is it for?
So the only thing on my breakdown for $1,500 is source to maintenance contracted services. So for water, that's like people that come in and say we have like still a contracted services. I think the category on that sheet is a little bit.
You call that sort to maintenance what again?
So it's like source maintenance, so, say an actuator in a well house or something, and we have to call somebody in to take care of that. I don't know why I don't get the marketing and advertising.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay.
So I'm gonna still put a question mark behind that.
So yeah, the only thing for $1,500 on my full breakdown is that source maintenance contracted services.
There's one under, office supplies.
Postage could very well be what they're calling advertising too. We have a pretty significant amount oh, you're right, there's admin general publication notices. I'm sorry, forget the contracted services. Marketing is that admin general publication notices. So when we have to post anything to the paper, like, we do an annual CCR, which is a consumer confidence report required by the DNR. That's a full page ad in the back of the paper. Yep, that's what the marketing is. Yep, you're right, there's another 1,500.
So my next question, no, I can't like, what?
We have the water drop past you.
So
Quality on tap.
if we go down to payment in lieu of tax of $200,000 that got carried over, what does that mean?
That one always came from comptroller. Tony, are you able to explain that one or not really? Is it state payment, operational payment?
What's the category?
Payments in lieu of tax? I know you just walked in the door.
Again, it's under the Fund 60.
I don't know what that is.
So there's some probably companies.
I don't know,
There's probably companies.
just so Tony knows what the heck I'm asking about. I'm talking about, this one right here.
Yeah, payment of those taxes.
Yeah.
I
I
wasn't
wasn't sure what that was
taxable,
about.
or a
The
taxable,
state of Wisconsin,
Entity
there's
says
so many
that's a state
taxes,
payment.
and I don't understand.
But that comes
taxes,
from
all the
the
bills and all.
matters.
So I do not know what this
Okay.
represents exactly.
All right. Thanks. I wasn't sure, but
Yeah,
we're doing the best we can here.
Well, been on there historically, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It doesn't
see
look
that.
out of the norm.
I can try to explain it a little bit instead
Can
of,
you? You
instead,
know what that means? I'd like to know.
well, instead of, there's maybe some companies that are in town that are using the water system and the wastewater system, and they're giving payments to the water system in lieu of a tax break through the city.
That makes sense.
So, or some,
We
or some,
have
or there's
done
some-
that.
yeah, there's some contract that was built in before,
All
or
right.
when they signed on or built. And then it comes in lieu of taxes,
Yeah.
they're paying directly to the water department, and
Okay.
I remember back a few years when I was on the council that the wastewater and utilities were separate, and now we're combined right now, so that was, I'm guessing at that, but it
Yeah,
makes
it's
most common
not
sense.
that,
That does make the most sense, yes.
It does, because we have, for keeping our businesses here, I know in the past, even before I was involved in city politics, that we wanted to draw companies in, and this was a way, give me a break on their water, and that would make sense to me.
So,
Okay. That's all the questions I have, Courtney. Anybody else?
I don't, thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you.
You can hang out with us
Thanks,
if you want.
Courtney.
Okay, police, I think we spoke with them already.
DPW, the junior
Oh, I'm sorry,
Jack,
DPW.
Jack Junior.
Now I'm putting the ties together. Before I'm like, I saw in the audience, I didn't know anything until tonight. Welcome, thank you for coming.
Oh, yes.
Do you have a copy of this?
I don't need, if I have an explanation, I have
Actually,
the other budget here. if you guys-
Tony was kind enough to print it off, because for some reason it wouldn't let me off mine, but here we go.
Okay.
All right. And then,
Do you guys want, I just looked it up, do you want so it says payment in lieu of tax was created to compensate municipalities and other local taxing jurisdictions since land owned by the Wisconsin DNR is exempt from property taxes, the
oh,
explanation was on there.
so it had nothing to do with the companies.
I don't know, if the DNR makes an annual payment, it could be based on something with the companies though.
Alright.
Because they're subject to DNR rule as well.
All right, that's good to know. Anything else?
Oh, sorry.
All right, no, thank you, good explanation, thanks for checking.
Made sense somehow.
Yeah. Okay, getting back to DPW.
Just Fund 10, right?
Yeah.
That's the tax levy.
Yeah.
That's all taxes. For the, intergovernmental income is 314,000. I just have a quick question. Licensing permits fees was like 36,000. Where's that coming from? Or that,
I'm gonna guess that's like our DNR permits and stuff like the rivers, because DPW is in charge of the river and stuff like that. I'm assuming it's like dam permits and stuff like that.
gotcha.
The only question I have, been looking at this worksheet,
That's the one I sent you today.
yes.
Okay.
Could be on page 2,
Okay.
and it's just the maintenance, like, I realize there's probably plenty that you guys need to get done from the vehicle maintenance. It's significantly higher,
Yes.
so I guess I just was curious, what
Well, I mean,
do
we
you guys
have,
have coming up that you anticipate such a,
well, I mean, this year with our loader is really a big problem, because our loader's from 1995. And in the past 2 years, we stuck roughly 70,000 in it. So I mean, that's part of that, like, we're expecting stuff like that. I mean, we have 10+ vehicles, so stuff like that, like tires, we gotta get backhoe. We gotta get new tires for our backhoe and loader. Backhoe itself was $7,000 just for the tires. So I mean, and the price of everything is not going down, which
Yeah.
we all know. But I mean, just maintaining 10+ vehicles that we have. And we're thinking, because I mean, we're on the same boat with our budget, like, it's not really accurate right now, so we're thinking we're already over our actual vehicle maintenance ready. So,
right? It is significantly lower last year.
yeah,
Just a rule of thumb, I think the fire department would, what was it, 10,000 per vehicle? We asked them,
I don't remember.
I think it was 10, like 10 or 5 or 10.
Yeah, I mean, that's not significant. I was.
No, it's not.
The only reason I ask is because of the.
I mean, per vehicle,
Well, the
it's
year over
probably
year.
pretty close, though, I mean,
It's not high at all. Yeah, it's right there.
if we
and
have
it-
15
you could be-
vehicles, said, it's 150,000 then.
Right.
It could be over, yeah, easily, correct, especially the loader, we have to figure that out.
Yes.
You definitely have to figure it out, 'cause, yeah.
And that's one of our key things they were asking for with the new one of them.
I don't have any other questions. You want to cover this, Ken?
Oh, perfect, thank you.
I've already looked through it.
No, that's
I don't have
perfect,
any-
thanks.
I don't have any other questions.
Okay. You run it all?
Be patient, I'm still looking.
Very good.
It says, trees and brush supplies, is that operating expenses? It was like, page, I don't know, it's like 6 in. It's right on the top, it's $4,000.
Oh, yeah,
On the right grade was like 801, 1,400, $300, now it's 4,000.
yep.
Just, what are we lacking there,
Pretty much like just change some of the stuff, I mean, they're all from early 2000s, probably if we would go in the closet, there's nothing remotely new in there. And
so equipment,
yes, pretty much.
change, yeah, got them. So like 20-year-old chainsaws. Need some updated stuff.
Just for reference to, I did the year over year, and it's only less than 1%.
Right,
Okay,
right.
The overall increase is negligible.
thanks for saying you.
It was like 0.15 or something, it's very minimal.
And what's the biggest need in the DPW department that
For
we
us,
need to know about?
I would say-
Citizens need to know about, and they're like, oh my God, they need a new loader, we talked earlier.
Loader, yeah, but I
Fire
would say
department.
the maintenance, and then I would say salt is another big one.
So,
Yeah, so we increased that one to, like it was at 94 this past, we bumped up to 125. I mean, salt has gone up from 2 years ago, it was, we'll just say, for example, like 20 a yard or a ton, and now it's like 50 to 60. So I mean, and that's something we need. And if we would fill up our sheds, right, and say we run out, we'll have enough money to spare to fill them up again or get more for the rest of the winter.
okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I appreciate having that on the roads.
Yeah.
As everyone does, yeah.
Excuse me.
It's a problem for the INI and the sewer though, if we don't button it up.
True, true that.
I'm good, I have nothing further at all. So loader is the big one,
Loader, they're very, the
and maintenance,
yeah.
keep
Maintenance,
it still running. I know it's not all new.
All right, so we don't show a percentage change on these sheets. Did you happen to do the percentage changes? Were the biggest, were they flash at you?
No, this was up a point, this was up a 10%.
All right,
They're
and that's pretty darn good, I'd say.
considering what inflation is, I would say that's
I
pretty
would
good.
say that's very good. I have no more questions, but I do appreciate you taking the time.
Yes,
to
thank you.
speak to us. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Take care.
You as well.
Okay, police, we're done, fire, done, EMS, done, library, done. All right, city clerk,
Are you gonna speak on my behalf?
yes,
City
we
clerk
had asked
stuff.
Christine about that, and she said that you guys would have that stuff.
I believe I can answer most of it.
Sure, okay.
And that was one of them that wouldn't allow me to print it out, so, do you guys have that?
I don't have that.
All right, hang on, here, we'll share.
I don't have,
This is what Tony printed out when I got here for me. And you're the finance chair, so I'm gonna hand this to you. I did not get a chance to look it over, in detail. And I have this, if you'd like to go by this as a comparison.
I've got that.
All right, we're good then. Is it the same? Is that what I meant?
Yeah.
Oh, I have a DPW. All right. So let's,
So, one of the things that, I wanna make sure we're conscious of when we look through this, I wish we all had a copy, is making sure that we have enough in there for elections, because we've got 4 coming up. So obviously, all of those expenses are gonna be significantly higher this year. Mailing and
Do you want copies, made?
if you wouldn't
yeah,
mind, that would
thank
be
you,
great, thank you.
Courtney. I was just gonna say that, but I didn't wanna bother Tony. Thank you,
So,
dear.
I don't know, do you know if you guys had accounted for that, just before we even get into that?
I want to say I believe so. I don't know for certain, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, we knew there were gonna be a lot of elections in fiscal year 24, so.
Mm,
Yeah, so let's, when we get that, maybe let's make sure we don't miss anything on that, because I'd rather.
Yeah,
You had,
account for
Right,
that, yeah, and be
I'd
prepared.
like to have a cushion a little bit, not go, oh, look, we need this or we need that.
Right.
Not that it's gonna throw off the entire budget crazily, but at least budget in there and go, here's what we need.
Right.
Tony, one thing I do have to ask, was an email a while back to you about the credit cards. There was a time, once upon a time, where they got kind of neglected.
Yeah, you think?
So are we on top of that?
We are on top of it as of the end of September.
All right, good, thank you.
Well, you thank Christine for that. She put a lot of hard work in.
Well, you know what? I wanna say this to the public and everybody. I know Christine has been under a lot of stress and a lot being put on her plate, and I do think that maybe as humans, we've been a little hard on her. And I do think we should at least give her the benefit of the doubt and show a little more respect. And allow her, and that's why I try not to bother you guys much, I really don't. I try to find out on my own instead of bothering you, but I can imagine that she's going through a lot right now, and I apologize if I've been hard on her, or we expected too much, she's only one person. So I wanna see that we try to be more helpful to her instead of, striking out. Yeah, I agree, the agendas have not been proper, the minutes have not been proper, but at the end of the day, one person can only do so much, so I apologize myself for that.
Well, she impresses me more and more every single day, and if you just came in here when she has her work spread out, and it's crazy how much she has to do. She's one person doing the job of three,
Right,
sometimes
right.
four, I mean, it's just,
We don't see that,
well,
and we don't get that, so you have.
yeah,
And-
it's, I don't even know how she does it all. It's
I-
just,
But I think, even though you guys have full-time jobs, if we could step up to the plate and help Tony and Chris, let's help them where they need it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
let's
get,
move
let's
on.
get through this thing and we'll be able to do that.
Okay,
So
Okay.
looking at no, you don't have a copy. Do you have it up on your thing? Are you able to look at it?
oh yeah, I have it right here.
So just looking at, like, for election wages, like that looks like it's the same year over year, and I just wanna make sure we're good there. You guys see what I'm looking at? That's on page 2,
oh, okay, page 2,
right here. All the election stuff is right here.
all right.
So this wages, I should have brought a ruler. Publication, print, I mean, so printing is obviously up, which would make sense, but some of these are the same, so I just wanna make sure that we are not underestimating what we're going to need.
Are you starting from elections and wages and going down?
Yes. So
First line.
look at elections wages is exactly the same,
5,000, 5,000.
and then postage in box is not on there. Meals is the same, publication is the same, printing is significantly higher, which you would expect. So I just wanna make sure that we're in where we need to be.
Right.
With those other items, just so that we're not scrambling.
If you look at just even the wages for 2022, the actual was like $6,800.
Yeah.
And we're at 5,000 for the budget. So in 2022,
Right, so that's what I mean, it seems like maybe we should consider, raising that. I'd rather have more allocated and not need it.
Or be short. We don't wanna be short.
Right.
All right, I agree with that statement. And if you wanna move on from there, I have another question. I wanna make sure you're done talking about the subject.
Okay, so yeah, just while we're looking at the wage section, for the 2023 budget, we had 3501 was our actual expense, even though we budgeted 5,000. So I would expect for that to double to us, so which 7,000 would be about right. So if you look at the actual for this year, 3501, we only had 2 elections, but we've got
Sure.
4.
Sure.
So double it up. So 5,000 seems inadequate to me.
correct. So you're just saying we should go with the 7,000?
I think so.
Which I think so too. Put more on there. Because we're kicking us to,
Is gonna go to council anyway.
yeah. We can make that note. What about, like $702 for postage, box rentals? Anything
also, and I kind of wish Christine was here because I think there was a change to absentee balloting, and I think that all of the old stuff is no good and needs to be repurchased. So it may be something to consider, before we've got to reconvene anyway, so I mean, maybe we can hit on that at that point, but I'm pretty confident that all the old mail-in balloting is no good.
I think she was talking about some kind of stuff like that, yeah. I don't know specifically what she was referring to, but there's a lot of stuff that we have that's outdated and we can't use anymore.
Right, yeah, I believe that absentee ballots was part of that. So I want to make sure that we're not missing that either. And I don't know where we're at with any of that stuff. I don't know whether she's gonna know that yet either. But she would be, if anybody's going to know, she'll know more than we will.
There's a quick, sorry, I'm just like back here on the Google, but, there's an envelope change. It says the Elections Commission allocated more than 500,000 in federal funds to help communities cover the cost of new envelopes. So we would have to find out what that,
Right,
funding is. in order
That's good to know. And that is at a state level or federal level? Where they would allocate?
It says
Federal
federal
funds.
funds.
Okay.
So
Page 40.
came out August 11th, too, so.
That helps. All right, my other question, I'll address this to Tony. The general administration membership due, in 21, it was 160, 22, 115, 23 actual 130, and the budget shows 1,785 for the 24 budget. You know what that's about?
That I do not know.
All right.
What are you looking at?
All right, on the first page, right here. General administration membership
There's
dues.
nothing there, but there's zero on the budget for 24, but they're looking at 23. There's nothing even on there.
All right, so is that gonna be zeroed out?
Yeah, all that stuff is on there.
That's what it looks like.
Still questioning why it was 1,785 back in 23. I'll do some digging on that myself.
I'm not looking at this too. What about the numbers on Audubon days? On the
Okay,
bottom of the first page.
yeah,
You guys are gonna have to give me a little insight on that, considering I'm not familiar.
okay.
I mean, I'm familiar with Audubon days, I'm not familiar with.
Actually, that should be cleared out because Audubon Days went to a nonprofit now.
Okay, that explains why it's not in there.
Okay.
That answers my question.
All right.
Do you remember early
I do.
in May when we turned over money?
Yes,
That's what we had to the Audubon committee.
I do remember that now.
I just want to know, Tony, do you think the salary's in line? I mean, obviously, we don't have a clerk.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have a clerk, and obviously, we're seeking the clerk, and we've been talking on different combination jobs we're throwing around, but is that an okay number?
I believe it's a solid number.
Okay,
What are you looking?
right here, $93,000.
Oh, okay. It's very close around the range, that I do know.
Yeah, I think the salary and the benefits attached to that salary, and it's in range, it's.
Right, we're joking,
It is roughly.
not too low. Not on the high end.
No, it's, yeah, it's.
All right, mid-target. Okay, that's all, that was my question.
Okay, then let's move down to, on page 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, above at the bottom, the professionals. What is that for?
Professional services,
Yeah,
it's like the fourth line from the bottom.
Yeah, because I know the question was for me.
or whoever.
I mean, I just, because we don't have a clerk, whenever we have to bring somebody in or ask for additional guidance or help, and if we have to pay for somebody, that's all that is.
Okay,
So,
that makes sense.
That would explain why it's higher.
Yeah,
Thank
A
you,
lot of
Julie.
questions.
yeah, and with it being, an election year, ×4 or whatever, there's been a lot of help with, economy and things like that. Christina's been going through a lot of training, so.
Okay, correct, okay. Let's see here.
And now that I'm looking at this page 2, some of the stuff that we had on our initial agenda looks to be in the clerk, on the clerk sheet, the general administration. If you look at the donation expense line items at the top of page 2. Yes, I believe Main Street, Mainville, Chamber, city events, was that stuff on the, itemized on the initial agenda?
I do not know.
Because I think that stuff was on there and was removed, but I think this is what we were looking at on there.
I did not see it. I figured once we get through the departments,
I know what I'm saying is that they were on the first meeting agenda, I believe, as individual items. And so I'm just noting that it looks like they're on here, lumped into this, because I do believe, I know I had asked about, meetings for Monday and Tuesday to follow up on the remaining items, and I do believe these may have been on there, so, just a general note. And they're all the same, year over year.
they have been, for the most part, that the city gave 5,000.
Yep,
Okay,
I'm just noting that I think those were on the first meeting agenda, the first budget meeting agenda, when we had the 22 line items. And I did ask about them, and so if these were on there, they are broken down on this sheet. So it's more just a general note for you guys and gals.
I keep track of that every year, so,
I don't have any other questions on that.
that our Main Street Chamber of Commerce and, what's it called? The flowers and all that.
City events.
Thank you. That they are included to make our Main Street look lovely. So, any other questions, gentlemen?
I'm satisfied with it.
I am too, I'm fine.
Make your changes on, elections, like you said,
Yeah, so let's make sure that we're, the election wage
was bumped up to
should
7,000.
go like 7.
And then we just questioned some of the stuff that, like meals and notices and printing and.
I just, yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I don't know. It's like I said, I know that the ballot thing might be an issue, so I just want to make sure that we're budgeting enough for that stuff, so we're not,
Yeah,
halfway there and out of money.
right. And I would, as you said, I wish Christine was here to answer that as well.
So maybe-
I do not know.
Maybe that's something that, like I said, I asked for meetings on Monday and Tuesday to just wrap up the rest of the stuff and we can clarify any questions we have before we, send this to council. So maybe if Christine is here at that time, we can ask her, let's do it. Is she just on vacation the rest of the week or? I anticipate she will be here.
No, she was just off yeah.
Oh, she just wasn't here. Okay, got it. So we can maybe ask her that question at the next meeting and that clear that up and just make sure. I just want to make sure that we're accounting for that, that's all.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right, so you're calling for next Monday and Tuesday?
I asked-
The 6th and the
I
7th
asked for Monday and Tuesday
at 6.
at 6. As needed, Monday, Tuesday if needed. We may
Okay.
have to- I don't know if we're gonna need.
I'm just gonna
Tuesday,
add it now.
but I'd rather plan for it and not need it.
Okay.
I think we should,
So you wanna do a Thursday and a Friday?
no.
Or no?
No,
or
Monday,
next-
Tuesday.
Oh, I'm
Monday,
the wrong
Tuesday.
week, I apologize.
I don't wanna do anything on Friday.
The 6th and the 7th.
Friday, Saturday, special meeting?
Yeah, don't be taking away my kids Friday night there.
No, Monday, Tuesday.
All right,
And then I'm assuming we would probably have a special council meeting called, so we can get this thing
To approve it.
published.
okay. Just wanna make sure it's in my phone. All right, we're in like Flynn. And anything changes
So I will
to be announced.
follow up with Christine tomorrow, because I did ask her to make sure those are posted so that those meetings are good to go.
Okay,
So I'll just check with her. Do you know that's happened yet?
I do not think so.
Okay. So I know as long as they're posted by Saturday morning, we're fine.
okay,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure she's aware of it and
okay.
she's gonna be on top of it. So,
Yeah, I may check with her in the morning just to make sure
Yeah,
she's
no.
good to go.
She would appreciate it. I would appreciate it.
All right, so, I think,
Yeah, you do, I've been trying to leave you two alone so you can do your work. Except for today, I messaged you a lot, but I have been trying to leave them alone. So
Well,
you
today-
do that.
Tonight was very important, so I appreciate you reaching
No
out to me.
problem.
So,
let's move to the most important, agenda item of the night. Adjournment.
Okay, I move to adjourn at 7:07 PM.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Thanks for hanging out with us, guys, and your patience.
So all your, that is it. And I always just like shut it down.